My name is Ronnie Williams. I am a 6th degree black belt in Shotokan Karate. I have been practicing the martial arts for over 35 years. I am still a student of the martial arts, and I will continue to be a student of the martial arts until my expiration. But as far as now, I just want to tell you the martial arts is a great outlet to become a greater and better person. The history of Shotokan Karate goes back well over 200 years. Actually, Master Gichin Funakoshi was the founder of Shotokan Karate. Shotokan Karate originated out of Okinawa, and it was actually one of the Ru arts, which is an island in Okinawa, a little area in Okinawan Island. That island is probably one of the major spots for import and export, and you have to take in consideration the time and era that was going on. You had China coming through and Japan using that island as for trade, retail, and so on and so forth. And actually, if you look in your history a little deeper, you actually see some African influence within that. Now let's go into the style itself. Shotokan has approximately 26 katas. The katas themselves are considered open hand katas. Open hand, that's what karate means, open hand way. There's a lot of diverse techniques within those katas: grappling, trapping, punching, kicking, and striking pivotal points, pressure points. And as you get into martial arts, it's one of the most diverse arts that I think that ever existed. I think it covers a lot, and some people would be remiss to say it has a major influence on what has taken the forefront in the Western world, such as MMA, because a lot of the practitioners are actually Shotokan practitioners that went into the MMA action. Me, myself, I think it's a good art, the MMA, but I think, within that, I think you always have to have a base art in a martial arts, and that's what holds you accountable, the base art, being able to finish something that you start. And Shotokan itself is a lifelong discipline. You're always learning. It's a big part of the introduction of, I guess you would say, learning who you are, becoming that lifelong journey and trying to understand your purpose. I never would have thought at this time I would be teaching Shotokan Karate, but I am truly happy and blessed because through teaching comes learning. I learn every day from my students. I learn every day from the parents. I learn every day from interaction with the way people think and how they think, and it helps me to re-examine the way I think and apply the techniques that I've learned in the mental capacity of the Shotokan art. Master Funakoshi was way beyond his time. As you can see, if you take the time out to read the 20 precepts that was written, and also the Dojo Kan. Seek perfection of character, be faithful, endeavor to excel, respect others, and last but not least, refrain from violent behavior. That is most essential. I don't care what discipline you're in or what style that you take. It's the art is more than about kicking and punching. It's about the resilience of a human being and humanity, and to have empathy and sympathy and compassion for life itself. So here in Showstoppers Martial Arts, we guide and we found our founding principles are guided with those 5 Dojo Kan that you just heard, basically what we were speaking about. Kata is very important because, with Kata, you have your basic techniques and you have your fighting drills all formed up in one, which you practice repetitively, and other than in a real life situation, because you have to mentally get your mindset and you have to physically condition your body to do kata. And over the repetition, you become more proficient at your task. So if it was ever an event, God forbid, that your life is at stake, that you will have the resilience and the perseverance and the mental capacity along with the physical capacity to withstand and hopefully heighten your level of survival. So with all those different things, again, kata, let's go into physical. A lot of people look at kata and they think that, it's just a pattern. Even with students that I have they come in so many times and they focus on the kata and the pattern, and once they get the pattern, but I always tell my students it's the technique within the pattern that's the most important focus. And with that technique, before you even get to the technique, you have to have a certain level of conditioning, because in pattern and in kata is speed over distance creates power, and that's scientifically proven. And you have to understand that, so you have to develop your speed, and that's how you have to learn the thing what we call tai sabaki, body shifting, how to shift your body. You have to be able to rotate. You have to be able to move fast in response. And those things are cat-like instincts. One of the major characters for the Shotokan is known as the tiger. And those characteristics of a tiger is very fierce, very mobile, very sleek, very fast, and very strong. And that comes from conditioning. It runs daily, it jumps, it's exercise. It's for that lion or a tiger in a jungle, whatever species out there, to survive, it's based on their survival skills of being able to obtain food, to maintain the conditioning and their survival in their environment. And we take the Shotokan and those principles align along with the founder, Master Funakoshi. No matter what your age is or your learning capacity, you always have to be what we call able to adapt in an adaptive situation. And that's where I look at the conditioning. Conditioning is very fluent. If you break your left arm, you got to be able to use your right arm. But if you've been so used to using your left all the time, and all of a sudden a situation arises where you have to use your right arm, you're not ready. And that's the one thing I tell the students, you want to always be ready. So you always create ways and continue to condition yourself in that capacity. And you do that over repetition. There's no secret to kata other than training. And the key word, training. Just that simple. Training and always practicing. Practicing is training. Conditioning drills, speed drills, strength drills, flexibility drills. When I first started, I originally came in it because, like most young kids, I saw Bruce Lee and I wanted to be able to kick and beat up 10,000 people at one time. But when I went into an organized dojo and a traditional dojo, and what I went in for, I came out with so much more. And that is the true essence of the art, and that's why I continue to teach after over 35 years of experience and training on a competitive circuit and on the inside the dojo, just the moral values that it instills in the human being. Like I said before, kata is one of the major elements, but not the element of martial arts. It is a collaboration of all. Again, the Kion Waza, which is the technique, also kata, which is the prearranged forms, and the kumite, which is the fighting. A lot of people think that kata and the fighting and Kion are all parts of the kobudo. Kobudo is weaponry, weapon system. Let's not get it, mixed up. Weapons is not a part of karate. Karate means empty hand way. Nothing to do with a stick or a knife or anything like that. Your weapon is yourself. You are a skilled martial artist. You are the weapon. That's what empty hand way means. Now, a lot of people ask me about kobudo. How do I look at kobudo? I think kobudo is a beautiful system that is regulated excellently. It was regulated to the perfection considering the time and era that they existed. Again, you have to take in life protection skills when martial law was in effect, where none of the farmers or any of the other people in the villages were able to have weapons. The farmers had to adapt. So that's why I think it was a very perfected system, because it sought out the way to adapt, like being like water, adapt to your situations and surroundings. So the farmers and the Okinawan area, thinking about it in this day and time, how that would have played out. You don't see it as much now because you have weaponry here, have regulations that cite and how to do it. and to go about getting permits, so on and so forth. Well, there, they didn't have that implemented, but they devised their own their way of protection, and protection was life protection skills, whether it was using garden tools such as nunchaku, which was used to shuck rice and knock rice loose. Then you had the bowl, which was basically used to carry water on 2 pails of water on each end, up and down to the home, and for bathing, drinking, washing clothes. I'm very familiar with a lot of weapons. I practice the bow, which another name for the bow is a staff. I practice the nunchaku, which some people call nunchucks. Also, I practice the tonfas. I also practice the sai, and also the Japanese weapon, the 3-section staff. And not Japanese weapon, but correction, the Chinese weapon, the 3-section staff. And I practice a Japanese weapon, the katana, which is the samurai sword. You got to take in consideration those weaponry, especially like the katana, which is the samurai sword. Prior to their martial arts in this day and time, and still in the Japanese history, and a lot of those weaponry couldn't even practice, such as the katana, because you had to be of a pedigree. A samurai had to be a blood-born pedigree to be a samurai. And it's ironic that Master Funakoshi has that pedigree of a samurai sword, but you may have seen in brief history him practicing the sais and the bow in some of the old footage that you may be able to research and find. So it's amazing how to this day we're still holding in the tradition of the karate and the kobudo, and they go hand in hand, because the way they fit and the puzzle fits together is, again, karate is open-handed way, no weapons exist, but kobudo is a system that was devised, that was perfected, but it was an add-on to the karate and kobudo, because a weapon is only an extension of one's person and who they are. Time is valuable, because that's one thing you can't get back. So if you're going to practice the art you choose, I would always suggest you find a good instructor. Ask questions. No question is too silly or too dumb if you don't know. Look into the proficiency of that person and conditioning, and just really make a good sound decision on the school that you would actually like to join if you're interested. And you're always welcome to visit us here at Showstoppers Martial Arts. But I also suggest that don't just stop here. Go to other schools and look at the schools and make sure it's a good family-based, traditional, focus, and accountability school that have more in common than just your money and trying to get your wallet. So we believe here, understand our motto. We say, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So find a good traditional-based martial arts school that cares about you, your family, and your concerns, but hold you accountable for these things to help you achieve those goals. And whether it's kobudo or Shotokan karate, you're gonna get the best here.